Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about our homeschooling. I have some unboxing to do with our curriculum. I'll show you the curriculum that I do use and a little bit about how I stay organized and things like that. So come along with me while I get this unboxed. Okay, so I actually have two boxes, but I have two children. So I use a company called The Good and the Beautiful. I am not affiliated with Good and Beautiful in any way. They don't sponsor me. I just have been using their products for the last 5 years and I absolutely love their curriculum. Okay, so what we have first is some of the Good and the Beautiful books. I absolutely love their books because they are wholesome books. They don't have a lot of the disrespect and they don't promote bad behaviors. They include a lot of faith-based things in them. So I started homeschooling Bella when she was in first grade, and she is an amazing reader. And I have to say I blame it a lot on this curriculum because she can read better than most high schoolers, and she absolutely loves to read. And I just feel like this company instills that good literature base, and you know, literature is everything. So she's in level 6. So this is what it looks like. It does incorporate a lot of like art. It has geography. That's one of the reasons that I like it so well, is because it incorporates more than just literature. It has reading and literature and spelling, writing, grammar, all of this all in one book. You have your course book. You have usually every level comes with a reader that goes along with it. And then you have your answer key. So this is helpful, of course, because the older she gets, the more I'm going to need the answer keys. And then they have, when you buy the physical set, they have these geography and grammar cards, and this comes with almost every level as well. So they're perforated, so they're easy to cut and to manage. And I'll show you in another video how I kind of organize their things and make it to where it's super simple and seamless. So The Good and Beautiful does make it very, very simple to organize because it's open and go. I'll show you in one of the lessons here. It pretty well has instructions on what they are supposed to do, what you're supposed to read to them. It is literally open and go. And then you put your check marks by whatever you've done. So there's no prep work, there's no planning. It's just one lesson a day, and it does make things a lot easier. This here looks like it is Josie's language arts. So each level is going to be different, of course, as far as what they have. So she has spelling rule flashcards. She has her beginner book set. There for a while I was trying to buy lots of the Bob books, which I absolutely love the Bob books, but it kind of makes it nice because they have the readers with the set. So I don't have to have tons of books, which I do have tons of books, as you can tell behind me, because my girls love them. Right here is their Josie's little reader and cards. So this one is new. I've never seen one like this before, but it kind of it tells you how to use the cards and how to use this card and master before you move on to the next one, and they all incorporate together. So this is Josie's language arts and literature. The one thing I like about this, like I say, it's open and go. So it'll tell you when you need to work on this, or when you need to read a book from here, or when you need to practice your cards. So I can break it down for you and go through page by page on each one of them. But that will be a little bit longer video. So I'm just kind of unboxing and showing you what we are going to use this year as far as their curriculums. So I do practice handwriting with my kids. So each one of them have their level-based handwriting book that goes along with their literature. And here is Josie's level 1 handwriting book. Usually we complete these pretty quickly. I think this year I'm going to try to do maybe just twice a week instead of I was doing 3 or 4 times a week. So I think I'll just do 1 page or 2 pages a week, kind of spread it out a little bit. And then for Miss Bella, she is at the age now, we're going into 6th, 7th grade. This is the maturation and sexual reproduction. This will definitely be something that I do with Bella on her own. I'm not really exactly sure what I have in this box, so let's see. In that box was their math. You really need to go by what your homeschooling laws in your state require as far as their curriculum list and how many days of school and all of that. You need to kind of research on your own. Most states, the required curriculum list, the Good and Beautiful covers it all with just these two. So the language arts is very broad as far as their topics that they cover. So they have all of that wrapped into one. The only other thing that we will have, that's science and history. I've been doing science and history with the kids since Bella was in first grade. It's a family style, so it is really easy to incorporate a large family or children from all ages. But in this box, what I have is the math. So it looks like for the level 1 math, this is Josie's. We have subtraction cards. We have addition cards. We have these neat little activity boxes, which my girls love playing with them without being in school. It looks like we have the time, so we're going to be learning about time. And then when you open it, you just slide this down and there is a bunch of different manipulatives inside. All of these go along with her math curriculum, and everything that you need is right here in this nice little wooden box. They're sturdy and they hold up really well. And then we have our math course. This is the only book that you have. It's the same as the literature. It's open and go. It'll tell you exactly what to do, what to say to the child, and then you'll work through the lesson. And then a lot of times there'll be a little worksheet at the end of it. Now, as far as Bella's math, she's level 6, so she's not going to have near the same as what Josie has at level 1. She's not going to have the manipulatives or the flashcards or anything like that. She just has her course book, and there are 2 course books for her, and then you'll have the master answer key here. Bella has not always used the Good and the Beautiful math. When I first started using Good and the Beautiful 5 years ago, they did not even have math. They just started with the language arts. So this is actually newer to us. I believe that Bella has been doing this for maybe 3 years. It's been, she's had this math. And then of course Josie, she has started with the Good and Beautiful math and has always been with it. I do like, because the older they get, and I've heard this from many parents, is that they can't homeschool because they could never do the math, or they aren't smart enough to homeschool. You 100% are smart enough to homeschool. I am horrible at math, but my kids are great at it. With the Good and the Beautiful, they have a video kind of tutor. So right here you have a little code that you can scan, and then it gives you a video lesson. They have parts on it where you can just you watch the video, you do the mini lesson, and then you do the work inside of the book itself. So the video lessons have been great. They're super informative. They incorporate some really neat stuff into the math and make it a lot more enjoyable to learn. It's not just, you know, learn the technique and do the worksheets. It's more incorporates it into everyday life, which I think is really neat. That is the level 6 for Bella. She will definitely have a lot more because she's a lot older. So this is all that I'm going to be doing with Josie this year, the language arts and the math. She'll sit in with us with the science and the history. The science is really fun. It's hands-on. I got this actually last year. We did water, I believe, last year. So this year I'm going to be working on kingdoms and classifications. I believe this unit there's 10 lessons, but I am probably going to spread this out over probably 12 weeks. I'm just going to be adding a lot more with this. I love that the color, the detail that they have on these worksheets, they're really, really good quality. Every science unit will have this. It'll have supplies needed, and then it'll tell you each lesson and then what you need for that lesson. A lot of the supplies that you need are things that you already have at home, like sticky notes or scissors or tape or kitchen utensils. So you don't need a whole lot. There's cotton swabs. So it's really nice that they do experiments with things that you have in your home. So, and a lot of these, if you don't want to do the experiment, or you don't have time to do the experiment, or you just don't have the supplies, you can actually watch a video of the experiment being done. Either way, it's kind of nice that you have those options. Now, the last thing that I do that I have started incorporating in with Bella, and I will start doing this with Josie in probably level 3, is the creative writing notebook. Now, this is not something that my daughter 100% loves, but I do believe that it is very good for writing skills. So it just kind of helps the creativity. Another thing that I have done in the past is the nature notebook, and she really enjoyed that. There are several different electives that they do have that you can choose from. Last thing that we have is history, which this year I'm going to be doing US government and the Constitution with the girls, mainly focused on Bella. Now, I usually get the physical copy, and I do like the physical copy better than the PDF, which I think the PDF's fine, but I just like using paper. So here's a closer look at what Josie's doing this year. We have the Course 1 Language Arts and Literature. We have the Reading Booster book set, the Spelling Rule cards, the Reading Booster cards, the handwriting level 1, and then here's her math. We have level 1 math. We have the manipulatives that come with every one of the math sets for their age, and then we have the subtraction and the addition flashcards. So along with this, she'll be sitting in with Bella doing the history and the science. And okay, so now we have Bella's curriculum that she's using. She's using the level 6 course book. She has her grammar and geography cards. Here is an extra reader, a read along, and the level 6 reader. Her handwriting here for the level 6. Her 2 math level 6 course books. It comes with an answer key, and she will also be doing the creative writing notebook for levels 3 through 8. She'll also be doing the maturation and sexual reproduction unit study, and this is just for Bella's age. So this is all of Bella's core curriculum that she'll be doing for level 6. The other program that we use other than the Good and the Beautiful is the IXL. Now, public schools a lot of times will use IXL as well. I do homeschool year-round. So what I do is I take one day in the middle of the week to kind of do some practice work. A lot of the Good and the Beautiful curriculum is based on doing 3 to 4 lessons a week. So with us doing year-round homeschooling, I'm still going to go Monday through Friday, but my Wednesdays are going to be just kind of like a catch-up day. So this is kind of our practice day where I will have them do 1 or 2 lessons in IXL and then just catch up with anything that we haven't done the week before or that week that we have fallen behind on. So that's kind of how I do it. There's a few reasons that I homeschool year-round. When I first started homeschooling, I did not do year-round. We did the traditional, I kind of followed what the regular school system did. The traditional school system, they had their 3 months off in the summer. And I kind of followed pretty well every day that they were in school, we were in school. The good thing about homeschooling is you can adjust it to be what is right for you, what works for you and your family. So depending on your laws, there are some states I believe that require so many hours per day, but in my state, they do not require that. I have found that with homeschooling year round, it makes it easier to plan your year. We like to do vacations throughout the year. So every 3 months, I'll have about a week-long vacation for the kids. Now that does even include like their Christmas breaks. That's not included in their week off. So we typically do 185 days and I spread that out throughout the full year. So as long as I get 185 days in throughout a full school year, then I'm fine with that. So I have found that they don't get summer slides, so I don't have to reteach everything that I have taught the year before. I have found that they don't get burnout near as bad because just as soon as they're tired of doing school, then they get a week break or they have a few days off. So it makes it really good to keep them on a really good routine. Some people don't have a routine. I'll go through our routine in another video on how I break down the days of the week and what we do each day. That's for another video. It's a little bit lengthy. So if you're a first-time homeschooler, you should absolutely find out what your laws for homeschooling is in your state. So I do some record keeping beyond what my state requires. Every year I do get a lesson planner. I don't have a specific one that I use. I just pick one out that I think will be good. And every year it's something different. So there are some people that rave about the Erin Condren. I've never used one of those. I just get the cheap planner. As long as it has like the month. I do like this because I can plan out a month. I don't necessarily put all of their curriculum that I'm doing. I just put in, like, if we have certain days that we're going to go on a field trip, or we have a certain science project that we're going to do. So that kind of keeps me on track of knowing when we're going to do those dates. So I do like that it has the Monday through Friday. That's what we do. We go to school Monday through Friday. A lot of the regular planners will have Saturday and Sunday. It's kind of a waste because this is just for their schooling. And then it has the subject lines on top. So I will probably, what I will do is I will cut them in half as far as, like, for Josie and Bella, like, I'll put their subject language arts, and then I'll cut it in half and then just write the number that we're on. So Wednesdays will be kind of open. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of their Good and the Beautiful on Wednesday, except for catch up. So, and I can just write down what I'm doing. This I do keep for record keeping. There is a place that you can write down the curriculum that they used, the books that they've read. Like I say, you need to go by your state. Some states are really sticklers on making sure you have really good records. I do keep up with all of the record keeping as far as a more stricter state would need, just because I want it for my own personal use, so that way I know what works and what didn't work. I do keep this, but I also back all of this up. I have created a Google Doc that I can put in the days of their attendance. I can write down the books that they've read and the curriculum that we've used, and I also do keep some of their sample work. But I don't keep physical forms of their sample work. So I will scan, or I'll take pictures of their work, and then I will store that on a flash drive. At first I was trying to keep all of their papers that they would do, and it just was so overwhelming because we have a lot of paperwork, and I was trying to keep all of their books that they have completed, and it was just too much. So this way I can still have copies of their work and sample work. I just have it on a flash drive. So when they get a little bit older, high school and things like that, I will create them a transcript. That way they can have that for future. We still have a ways to worry about that with them. So if you'd like to see anything more about how I organize, or how I keep my records, or just a day homeschooling with us, just comment below what you'd like to see what we do in our homeschooling, and I'll try to make another video for that. Another big issue that I've had with some parents is time management. They're like, oh, I work a full-time job. There's no way that I could possibly homeschool my kids too on top of that. That's too much stress. So I will say that along with this YouTube channel, I also work in a beauty salon. So I do have pretty well a full-time job as well as homeschooling my kids. So it is doable. Keep going back to the state laws because each state is different, but it can be scheduled around your schedule. I know there are some parents that I've talked to that get off work and then they'll homeschool their kids from 7 to 9 before they go to bed. I have some parents that I've talked to that homeschool their kids on Thursday through Sunday and over the weekend because that's their days off. The good thing about homeschooling is you don't have to spend all day long homeschooling your kids. We have got a mindset that a kid has to go to school from age of 3 and they have to have all of this time because that's their education. I'm able to educate both of my children in 2 hours a day and they are excelling. It's amazing how much your kids can learn just by your daily life. And I do think core curriculum is important, and I do think schedules are important. But I do believe that, you know, you have less time, you have less busy work whenever you're schooling them at home. So if you can set back 2 hours a day, which most parents are doing 2 hours of homework a day with their children that is sent home from public school. So if you can homeschool your kids in 2 hours a day instead of doing the homework that the public school sent home to you, then it would be no different. So, and you would be able to instill your own beliefs and your own morals and your own ways, and you could teach them the things that you felt like was important to you, along with their core curriculum, of course. And you could be choosing the curriculum that they use. I think it's really important to understand that time shouldn't be an issue. You don't have to be a super homeschooling mom and do all of these things to educate your kids properly. So that being said, I do have to add this point in because I feel like a lot of times on the videos that I've seen in the past that homeschooling gets glamorized, like it's always rainbows and butterflies every day. That is not true. You are going to have bad days with your kids. You're going to have moments where they don't want to work and you want to pull your hair out and it's stressful. So I don't want to glamorize it so much that whenever you start it, it gets overwhelming, because it can be overwhelming at times. But it is extremely rewarding too. And the good thing about homeschooling is, I'm sure that you've had your kids wake up in the morning and they're a grump. They don't want to go to school. They get in trouble that day because they're not happy. Well, the perk with homeschooling for me is if we wake up on the wrong side of the bed and we just can't turn it around, then we take a break that day and we just find ways to cool off and get happy again. And then we'll come back the next day and we'll start over again. So that is kind of one perk that I feel like is good with homeschooling, because education should not be a daunting task. It should be something that's rewarding to the kids and to you as well. So if you're not feeling it that day and it's a bad day, then take a break that day. And it's okay. I mean, you can take mental health days. Your kids can have them too. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the unboxing of my homeschool curriculum for the 2022-2023 homeschool year. I hope this was a useful video, and if you would like to see more homeschool videos, subscribe and leave me a comment below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.